Picking up today in Genesis chapter 3 for our mini message, and we're going to look at verses 12 through 17. It says, "Well, Esau said, let's be going. I will lead the way." So they've made friends. Everything's good. And basically Esau saying, "Hey man, come on home. Come back home with me. Let's be brothers again. Let's live side by side." And then verse 13, "But Jacob replied, 'You can see, my lord, that some of the children are very young, and the flocks and herds have their young too. If they are driven too hard, even for one day, all the animals could die. Please, my lord, go ahead of your servant. We will follow slowly at a pace that is comfortable for the livestock and the children. I will meet you at Seir.' 'All right,' Esau said, 'but at least let me assign some of my men to guide and protect you.' Jacob responded, 'It's not necessary. It's enough that you've received me warmly, my lord.' So Esau turned around and started back to Seir that same day. Jacob, on the other hand, traveled on to Succoth, where he built himself a house and made shelters for his livestock. That is why the place was named Succoth, which means shelters." Okay, Jacob here was really glad to be reconciled to his brother, but he doesn't necessarily want to go home yet. He doesn't want to go back to where Esau is living. And different scholars and commentators really have a lot of different ideas about this. Some say he was still afraid maybe Esau was luring him in. I don't really buy that. They were out there in the middle of nowhere. Esau had all these men. If he wanted to do Jacob in, just do it there. I mean, there's no reason for any more subterfuge. He could have killed Jacob, taken the servants, taken the flocks. He could have killed his family. He could have done whatever he wanted. I don't think Esau was into that, and I don't think that's the reason Jacob was not wanting to go back to this place to Seir with Esau. When I look at it, I think the most likely, I think there's two. One being where he would have been going to Seir was a much more mountainous region, and it wouldn't have been great for his flocks and his herds. Going down to Succoth where he went was a much better grazing cattle land, is better for the sheep, the goats, all that kind of thing. So I think maybe that plays into it somewhat. But the one that sticks out to me that I think is the most likely is his father. You see, Isaac would have been the next person he needed to face. And yeah, he faced Esau. That went well. But I think he still had fear of facing his father. And I think at the end of the day, that's why he went south instead of north. He had dealt with one broken relationship, but I don't think he was ready to deal with the second. And that's on him. That's a shortcoming in him. That's him, I think, with his father falling back on some old habits and in what he was doing and in the way he was trusting God. So he took a step forward, but then he took a step back. And we all do that from time to time. And we'll continue Jacob's story another day. You guys be blessed.